anyways, just wanted to throw that out there before we kind of switch gears. So, Jake, you ready to kind of switch and start talking about the three? We have 3 games for this week.
Yep, I'm good.
All right, sweet.
Okay, so our first game coming up, it's going to be against the Trailblazers, and obviously we know they got their two-headed beast in Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. But it's very unfortunate to see that Jusuf Nurkic is out. Real quick, just to say that he's if I'm not mistaken, fractured his wrist.
Yeah,
Something's
and while you're talking about that, I feel like I just heard this morning. Yeah, from last night's game, CJ McCollum actually CJ McCollum suffered a foot injury, I believe.
Oh, okay. So now we're only just gonna see the one-headed dragon and Damian Lillard tonight. So
Yeah.
but
Monday.
Monday, yeah, sorry, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Uh and which, in some cases that can be even scarier seeing Damian Lillard take 45 shots instead of seeing him take his 30. So um this
Real
team
quick,
all around.
I just want to throw it out there. Yeah, so it says MRI results revealed that the injury is a sprain, not anything worse. We do not yet have a prognosis for McCollum's return to action. So, I would say it's a pretty safe bet. He's out against San Antonio. But the good thing is it's not like
Not too serious.
yeah, not too serious. Good. All right.
But so yeah, this team, especially without CJ and Jusuf Nurkic, this team doesn't look too crazy. They have some really solid support. Melo is a very big, very respected vet in today's league. Robert Covington has always been a very solid 3-and-D type prospect player and everything. And I've always liked Derrick Jones Jr. He's always been somebody that another like undrafted guy that I just liked watching and stuff like that from like Phoenix into Miami last year and now Portland this year. So
Yeah, that's where I noticed him from was Miami. That's right. Okay.
so he's definitely a cool little player. It'll be kind of fun just to see him run around catching an oop or two from Damian Lillard. But all in all, this team like in my opinion, like when at full strength, they're a solid little playoff team. But like when it's only Damian Lillard, if Damian Lillard's on it, it's going to be a little scary. If he's not, then I think we'll be able to have some solid crowd control against them this week.
Yeah.
Just to kind of look at their leaders, Damian Lillard, obviously, he's going to be leading them in 27 with 27. CJ, that's 26 that they're not going to be having.
Yeah.
So that's something that like we'll see maybe Carmelo or maybe Robert Covington. Even I saw Rodney Hood right there.
Oh yeah, Hood.
They might try to pick up that slack.
I'm surprised that Hood is like, well, what is Hood scoring again this year? Like his points per game, because that's a big drop off between 26 and 12. They're 2 to 3 in terms of their leaders. Yeah, so I'm surprised that I would imagine Hood maybe is around 12 too, because if anything less than that seems pretty short, unless he was missing time.
Let's see.
But yeah, but like you're saying, with CJ being out, you can really okay. So I see Rodney Hood. Does that say 1.6?
He might not have been.
Maybe he's.
Yeah, Rodney Hood 1.6.
He must be missing time. He must be missing time.
Wait, no, he's played 11 games.
Oh my God, that's surprising.
Well,
that's surprising. Surprising because didn't he? I feel like he just got like a contract or maybe last year. Excuse me.
He is coming off a pretty serious injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. Like around the bubble time.
A little bit before the bubble time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're not trying to hate on him, but I just assumed that he was scoring points from them. Yeah. So okay. Well then it's most likely what you just said. Covington, Melo, and who else? I guess
maybe Derrick Jones Jr. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, or I mean even Gary Trent 11.5.
Gary Trent Jr. has been very solid for them, and he might be he was definitely showing some very good promise in the bubble, and so obviously you can tell that he's doing pretty well in the time for this season. So like maybe he does take a step forward, and his Cantor is somebody who like he's not a defensive center at all. So it's like he maybe they just give him a little bit more of an offensive load just because Jusuf Nurkic isn't there anymore.
Yeah, the good thing for us is they don't really have too many of those like dynamic big men who can be out on the 3-point line and then throw a pump fake and take 2 dribbles and be at the rim for a dunk or something like that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So this is definitely an opportunity for like Jakob and for LA to kind of have more of those traditional big man roles and to be pretty successful. I would think that LA would have a pretty decent shot to have a good game against these guys, which is good. I think he bounced back pretty well too. Like the last time he was getting some heat, and then he came back and played really well. So I anticipate him playing well again. And that's the thing, man. Like I think like we've been analyzing or like going game by game and talking about rosters. And as the series or season progresses, it's like every night we are, I think it's going to benefit us that we have like Yak and LA being more traditional just because like we have a little bit of that versatility. There's going to be nights where it's going to be beneficial for us to go in the post. I mean, we saw it against Reed. We even against that second game against Houston, we went and attacked Christian Wood. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Even like at the end of the first game, we attacked Christian Wood, and the way that we chose to do that sometimes was with our guards, but a lot of times it was just give the ball to LA and put him on your back, like make him do something. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
make him go out there. If he's gonna beat you by scoring 28 points and by like holding down LA in the post and blocking his shots and making then okay, then that's just what it is. But I mean, so I think LA should that could be a good point of attack for us. Holding Melo back, holding Gary back, holding Covington back. I don't know how do you feel up to the task defensively against obviously Dame Lillard is its own thing, but in terms of stopping the other guys.
Honestly, yeah, like it's really gonna be like how much Lonnie and Keldon can kind of contain that to start it off, and then obviously like I think in terms of like dynamic players who we're gonna kind of be relying on. I know we say this a lot, but I feel like it's gonna be another Keldon game. Just another game where it looks like he's going to be able to attack a little bit more, and then like um people like their forwards and stuff like that that are going to be trying to play the fourth spot are not going to be bigger than Keldon Johnson.
Yeah,
So like he'll be able to keep them out of the paint. Like if let's just say they really do try to run this game through Melo. Like if they try that, we put Keldon on him. We're not going to let an old man Melo try to go to work against Keldon Johnson, you know?
yeah, but
So,
Melo is he comes off their bench.
he might. I'm not too sure. Actually, let me go ahead and take a look at their projected starting lineups. Um,
Yeah, because I'm thinking like he's probably gonna be out there with like Rudy Gay, which
and if he is,
that'll be a good old school small forward matchup, a 3-on-3 kind of thing.
yeah, for sure. That'd be super fun to watch. I never really got to watch a prime Rudy and a prime Melo duke it out. So it'll be
See, like when I think about like small forwards, that's like the size, that I think of
the
is like a
6'8".
Rudy Gay. Yeah, like anything smaller than that, you got to be a shooting guard or a point. I know
Right.
I'm like way out of touch with how they think about positions now, because that's literally how I see it. Or if it's like, all right, if you start to get bigger than Rudy, don't put him at the 3 because he'll get roasted. Put him at the 4. You know what I mean? Like that's just where my brain is stuck at. But
Right.
so
This is showing like the most common lineups, right? And obviously, this was the 14 games that they ran with Jusuf Nurkic, but now he's hurt, so they just slid and his Cancer into that spot. If I go to their bench, obviously Jusuf Nurkic not gonna be playing this game. But I could see maybe Gary Trent Jr. sliding into the starting role, given and then them giving more minutes to Rodney Hood. Obviously, Anthony Simmons is their young point guard behind Damian Lillard.
mhm.
But you can kind of just see like by the games that these guys have played that like maybe these younger guys right here are going to be a little bit more into these rotations just because CJ is going to be gone.
Yeah.
So maybe Melo still is coming off the bench for them just to kind of give them that scoring, but I could also see them kind of going a little bit bigger and just like sliding up one, right? Covington to the, or maybe Covington stays at the 4, Melo to the 3, whichever way that they wanna run that. I'd
Yeah.
honestly say Covington at the 3 just so that they'd put him against DeMar,
I feel like I
and
feel
then
like
Towns.
it would make their second unit a little smaller though, huh? If they had if they
If they
had
didn't have.
Carmelo in the starting.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, I could see that. From the position wise, they don't really have anybody except for Zach Collins, but I actually think Zach Collins is hurt right now. Obviously, he hasn't played a single game this year, so, um,
Mm.
but I don't think this thing has like listed heights or anything like that. But I've heard that like Nasir Little's a little bit more of a sizing small forward, so
Mm.
maybe he could run the 4. But you're
Yeah.
right, like maybe they do just end up running Gary Trent and then keeping that size on the bench for whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like and not only for the size, but also for the experience and for the scoring, like you said, but more of just like you need to have more of a balanced attack for 48 minutes if if you're gonna go hard on the start, unless you're trying to just like pull a Seattle Seahawks or something like that and just like pounce on them and take them out within the first quarter or something like that.
Mhm.
But no, I think we're a little too deep we'll be able to withstand something like that. So this will be a good game. I do wish that like Nurkic was in, just so we can and CJ too, because we've had a lot of good benchmark games at the beginning of the year, and so I'm looking forward to these are the teams that we need to beat them, obviously, to try to stay ahead of them in the standings. But I want to see
If
how are we gonna fare against them, because it's gonna matter when if it's a play-in game, or if it's, hey,
yeah.
you need to beat Portland in a regular season game, but loser doesn't make it to the play-in game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it definitely could come down to it at the end of the year. So um
Yeah, this is that team that always fights for that like a couple years they do have like that lock in sixth, fifth spot, but these last couple years, they've been fighting for that eighth seed a lot. So it's like this is a team that we're like you said, we're gonna be looking at them one to lose towards the end if we're close, but two, we're gonna be looking back at it like, oh, did we beat these guys
yeah,
at the beginning of the year? And
yeah,
if we would have been able to play them full strength now, that would have been nice. That would have been nice to see because, like you said, yeah, it would be a whole lot better to see us beat a Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Jusuf Nurkic team now rather than see what it looks like later in the season.
yeah. But on the flip side of that, because we talk a lot, and the Spurs Twitter and the Spurs fandom kind of talks a lot about like playing up and down to our competition, and like playing really well against the good teams and playing kind of poorly against the teams that in your eyes we should be beating. So
Hmm.
we can think of this as the flip side of that, which is, okay, here's another team that is not at full strength. They're missing some really big key pieces. Can we have the can we have the mindset and the execution and the poise to go and win that game, because we feel like we should win that game? You know what I mean?
To just take
Uh,
care of business.
exactly. Take care of business. I like that. So I mean, this is one of those ones where it's like, okay, we did we lost a winnable game to Houston. We lost a winnable game to Minnesota. We lost a winnable game to the Pelicans earlier on in the year. So you can have your reasonings to justify it, or to any of those losses if you want. But regardless, we came up with the loss, and we could have come out with the win. And later on, those they proved to be very important. So we're at the point now of the year where it's like, all right, let's start turning some corners on some of the bad things that we're doing. One of them being that, and you know what I mean. So let's.
Hmm.
I would be happy if we could not have this be. I'm not saying that, not to say we have to win in a big blowout or the deficit has to be big, but I want us to show that we are able to execute and take care of business, like you just said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should have enough to come out with a win, even if it's maintaining a huge barrage of Lillard 3-pointers in the fourth quarter or something. Okay, we should still have enough. Plus, when you're looking ahead, sorry, I'm trying to get the schedule back up on my phone. But when you're looking ahead, and we got like another division game coming up with Dallas, pretty this week on Friday. It's like we need to win these games because we need to. There's nothing else to say. We need to
Yeah.
win them. We need to win them. So, anything else on Portland? It feels a little bit different talking about them without knowing that CJ's out, knowing that
That Nurkic won't be playing and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Um,
Go ahead.
Yeah, nothing much other than just like kind of repeating like our title for today's podcast is called the sum of our parts, and the way I see it is like we've been playing against incomplete teams. We're still a little bit incomplete, still kind of fixing our blocks together to make our perfect shape, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is another team that like while they are more complete than others, that because of these injuries, they're going to be another incomplete team that we're going to be playing against to see what will fare. Like you said, um, of us kind of playing down and playing up to our competition. I Yeah, like I completely agree. Like we just need to come in and not let anything ruin us, not shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Just come in and get our W against another incomplete team to
Yeah.
to build more of us.
Yeah, I agree. So, speaking of another incomplete team, we'll get half